You are now tuned into the 2-Minute Warning, a live stream community conversation pertaining to social and political issues and how we can collectively resolve them. Powered by the Westside Gazette.
Welcome to the 2-Minute Warning. I am your host, Perry Busby. It's Thursday, January 26th, and we have a dynamic show for you. And joining us for this dynamic show are my co-hosts, Mr. Bobby Henry and David Wright. How are you doing, my brothers?
You know, I like to say I'm terrific in getting better, because every moment is an opportunity for us to do better and get better.
That's right.
Yes, and absolutely. I'm fantastic and growing every day. You got to know if you're not growing, you're dying. So,
well, good to see you. It's no, we had a little delay, but we are glad to be here, and we welcome all of you who are listening from whatever location you are. We welcome you, and we ask that you join us in a dynamic conversation tonight. This has been a great month. All the shows, especially the show last week, I've been hearing great things about it. And when you're able to, just do something that people appreciate, and people give some feedback, it helps you to look on this a little bit better. And I know I needed to hear that. And so, brothers, I shared it with you, and audience, I shared it with you as well. Let's end out this month with a great note and enter February on an even higher note. And so, as we move forward, brothers, what's going on your end?
You go first, Dave. You jump in and go first.
we're here in Broward County. So as everybody knows, there's been a lot of turmoil going on with our school system. And there's been a unanimous vote to remove the former superintendent. So I guess there's no bipartisanship there where it comes to being a political target. So the board members have spoken.
Yeah. I want us to really recognize that a lot of folk at the beginning saying that this was a move by the governor showing his whatever he think he has. But the vote on yesterday, the day before yesterday, it was 9-0. So 9 board members agreed that the superintendent's time was up. So it wasn't something that man who sits in governorship is controlling. It was a unanimous vote. Now there are some other things that we need to get on as well.
A lot of other things, but just to stay there for a minute, it's important that we do the proper canvassing vetting for the successor, the next superintendent. And, that's where we have to be, prayerful, vigilant, for the sake of our kids, that we seek the right person for that job.
It's been something that has been embedded, it appears, in this Broward County School Board's position of some corruption, favoritism, just downright neglect of duties. What do you call it? Malfeasance and the word? Yeah. So all of this has become ingrained into this school board, and we need to really empty, be devoid of all of that, and that means cleaning house. So and we're going to stay on it. We have to, for the sake of the kids.
Yeah. Man, hearing this as who was it, Yogi Berra, who says like deja vu all over again. Man, I've seen this. This pig with lipstick before. I've seen it in my hometown. I saw it even. I saw it even in Houston. And yes, we have to be vigilant uh, because the corrective measures a lot of times get lost and the politics grows higher, and the children suffer. Our children suffer immensely, and all for the sake of what we say of politics. And so you're right, we have to be vigilant in this because I've seen some school districts that, like I said, in my hometown, uh, it got to the point that it ended up in the state coming in to uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, to technically oversee things, and that creates a real bad
You
look
know,
for our community.
yeah. Who was that said? I think his name was Burks. I think it was Burks that said, "For evil to prevail is for good people to do nothing."
Do nothing,
So,
right?
and that goes a long ways. Not only with the school board, with leadership and political positions as well. So if we're going to sit back and just complain and do nothing about it, we're the ones at fault.
Right.
So we
Hmm.
have to do something. We have to do something about it.
Right.
No longer can the tail wag the dog. We got to be the dog that wags the tail.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So more to come on that, I'm sure.
Yeah, more to come.
Yeah.
More to come. Mhm.
So Perry, you're in Tallahassee.
Oh yeah.
Did the
Oh
rain
yeah.
came from happening or what?
Well, the event. Just to let the audience know, yesterday there was we received word that there was going to be a rally on the steps of the Capitol, a Black Attack rally. But unfortunately, uh, I won't say Mother Nature, just the elements had a say so in the matter. And so we had torrential rains here. But I believe that event was moved inside. And so the speakers, there were some speakers there. And I know that event uh, did take place. I know they were expecting better. Um, but much is to be said about where we are. I know also on Tuesday, there were a group of Black pastors who also held a press conference to also voice their concern. And also learn something in that as well. Pastor R.B. Holmes,
Yeah.
who spoke at that event, is a long time or was a long time Republican,
Right.
and also did the prayer at DeSantis' inauguration. But Pastor Holmes has now switched his affiliation to independent. I've heard over his disagreement with how the governor was handling COVID.
That's a whole other
So
that's a conversation.
yeah, that's a whole other conversation. So yeah. So there's some moving parts, and then Attorney Ben Crump announced that he was filing suit on behalf of 3 AP students. So there's movement.
Yeah, there's movement, but we got to create some rapid movement. And we don't need to be caught up in. And again, I go back to 1954 with Brown versus the Board of Education. With all deliberate speed, we don't need to get caught up in that. I understand what it means to strategize and plan and do all that, but when somebody's in your face, busting you upside the head, what are you gonna do?
Bobby, I'm glad you said that, because you know what? It seems as though to voice that is almost met with a complaint of, well, we can't bash what's being done, and no one is bashing.
No,
You are not bashing. You're not. I expect Attorney Crump to do what Attorney Crump does.
yes.
He's doing that. I
Mhm.
understand that. I'm not saying anything else is wrong with that. I'm just concerned that our response is almost like Pavlov's dog.
Oh,
Every time we do it, we do this. And again, as you said, Brown versus Board of Education.
19.
We won that decision,
It happened.
but we live in a time where law is only law.
Right. Right. You know, and I guess Brother Wright, so
Well, Perry and I have had several conversations, you know, and part of it was as parents, as responsible Black parents, it's important that we educate our own. Now, that's not always going to happen in the masses. That's why we have school systems and colleges and AP programs, and they should tell the truth. But my opinion here is that we gotta follow. We gotta stay closely tuned to everything that's happening, right? We gotta make sure that. I mean, in my opinion, this guy's gonna run this thing, and it's gonna backfire. But we cannot just sit back and believe that that's going to happen without continue to put some type of heat on this. And,
Right.
And it's important. The media has already jumped on it, so it's going to stay front and center in the news for a period of time. I don't think this is just going to go away.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to make sure that it doesn't just go away.
Yeah.
But the end result is the truth. You just got to tell the truth.
and then
Right.
here
And teach the truth.
and teach the truth. Here you have Black the education, not the miseducation of a Negro, but the need to continue to educate Black folk with the truth.
Right.
And then you got situations that's happening on our HBCU campuses that is drawing a negative light as well. And
Right.
So
Bobby. Yeah, no, I agree. But I would dare say Governor DeSantis is, as the late Denny Green said, he is who we thought he was.
from the beginning.
And he's doing exactly. Let's not forget Republicans, or at least they're a good portion of Republicans at the federal level feel that the Department of Education is a department that is not needed. So if they don't think education as a whole is needed, I mean, the fact that they would say it does not have value, I question the authority and the quality of someone who could even place value on it in the first place. I mean, because let's be clear, American education is not in the top 10 in the world. This American exceptionalism is American exceptional bullshit.
Okay. Well, let's get our guests on. We still gotta finish this one out in the vein of what we.
Yeah, this topic has been so enlightening, and tonight's guests are just going to bring it home. They're going to bring it right here to Broward County, and they're going to put it right in our face as to what's happening right here in front of us. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, Bobby, can you bring them on, because I had my computer rebooted and I lost all my files. So
True, that's fine. I'll bring on a person that I know personally and have seen her grow in her spirit, her life for the community and for the young folk in the community. And I'm talking about Miss Sharon Hughes. Sharon has been an advocate, especially for Black, and I'll say boys that grow into men. She has had her hands actually on the lives of Black boys as they develop into young men. And not only that, Sharon is the sounding board, if you will. Sharon is the beacon of hope for young folk in our area. She has and always has had her door, her phone, herself available to those who are in need. She happens to work for an organization, and she and I go back and forth on this, for an organization that is doing something in the community, and I will say that. So I won't belittle this, but I'll ask that Ms. Ariel, if you allow Ms. Sharon Hughes to come into the screen, please. Thank you. Hello, Sharon.
Hello, how you gentlemen doing this afternoon?
We're good. We're good.
We're good.
Tell us a little bit about you, Sharon.
Well, I am generational, right here in this corridor. I was born at Broward General, raised right off of 13th Ave, raised my kids off of 15th and 6th, and continue to work off of 6th. Um, Thank you so much for the kind words, Mr. Bobby. Like he said, he's not exaggerating. He watched me grow from a little girl to a grown woman. Him and my mom was real close. God
Yeah.
rest her soul. Um, what my problem was when I growing up, I saw a lot of hurt and demise in our neighborhoods, and people like Mr. Bobby and Mr. Willa Walker and my mom and things like that used to always teach us takes a village and respect your elders. And I watched the hurt, and by growing up and people like Bobby Henry and those masters in the neighborhood, this is still in me. This is to do the same thing, try to heal the community. And but as more and more hurts came about, less and less people tried to heal, but I just stayed the same.
Awesome, awesome. And I'm going to take the lead on our next guest. Again, our next guest is Dr. Shantell Haynes-Cruz Leon, and she's of Haynes Harbor Inc., and she operates servicing the underserved in hopes to putting a stop to human trafficking. Now, apparently, from what I understood talking to you earlier, Ms. Hughes, you have partnered with her. Is that correct?
Yes, I have a program, with an organization like Mr. Bobby said, where I try to help our young people in the community find a voice in the things that they feel like no one is paying attention to. And the program is called Team Broadway. It's a literacy program, but what I do, I let the kids in the community tell me what's aggravating them today. And I start off with like writing plays and like a script to talk about and get like a PSA, a live PSA, so the people in the community can hear what the kids say that's bothering them. And one of them is human trafficking. And we met
Mhm.
Mr. Dr. Haynes, and she met the kids, and she loved the idea, and the rest what they could say is history.
So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring Dr. Haynes on, and we're going to allow her to share a little bit about herself as well. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Dr. Haynes, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you again for this amazing platform and allowing me to definitely grace your roster. My name is Dr. Haynes-Cruz Leon. I am a native from Miami, Liberty City in particular. Born and raised in Miami. Currently, I am the CEO and clinical director for Haynes Harbor Group, which is a direct service provider for victims and survivors of human trafficking.
All right. Now, how did this partnership actually come into play? I know Sharon gave us kind of her side to it. Doc, you want to share a little more?
Absolutely. So I did have an opportunity to meet with the youth and provide them with our youth human trafficking awareness training. And I had an opportunity to go over the script that they had put in place for this amazing play that will be coming out on February the 18th and the 19th. I hope we will see all of you in the building. And I just felt that it was definitely God sent in order for me and Miss Sharon to have met each other, and for my organization to partner up and to collaborate on this project. Just knowing that literacy, education, being able to have the performing arts as a platform and as a creative platform in order for these individuals to really express themselves is definitely needed. And so having my background in my undergrad studies is in entertainment, emphasis in media. And so working and producing a lot of documentaries, working on different short films and different things here throughout South Florida, I thought it was fitting for my organization to definitely collaborate with Team Broadway. And it's our hope, for 2024 that we're able to create it into a full-length documentary in order to showcase it at different film festivals.
Okay, great. To have a passion about anything you do, there has to be some firsthand experience. And Sharon, I know you shared with us that you have a list or on your Facebook page or a wall of missing children that you feel perhaps have gotten caught up into the human trafficking aspect. You want to talk a little bit about that? And then after she does that, Dr. Haynes, I know you got some firsthand, knowledge of this thing. So if you don't mind sharing that with us as well. Sharon?
Sure, no problem. Yes, I do. The play itself is actually is even though it's fiction and it's like a modern day rendition of Annie, the actual storyline came from something that actually happened to someone that me and Mr. Bobby know quite well, her niece, and this happened in 2019. It was no news um bulletin or anything like that about it or whatever, but the kids also know of similar things of kids being missing, and then they see them on videos and things of that nature on Snapchat. So yes, it's my passion is to hear their cry, and so it's sad. And even Dr. Haynes, when she met them, all the kids say they know something or know someone who have been experienced by human trafficking one way or the other. And right now, like you said, Mr. Bobby, I get calls all the time, like text messages or picture, or they send me a DM me on Facebook. I'm not really a big social media fan, but because of that type of stuff. Right now, I think it went up as of yesterday. I think it's 24. Right now, we have 24 young ladies, which I think over 17 or 18 of them out of North Lauderdale that's missing. But it's no one's not. Everybody going about their day. Nobody is not thinking like where are the girls? Some kind of which way they didn't make it home. Either they went to the store and they make it home, they went to school and they make it home, or they left home to go to school and they make it to school, but they're nowhere to be found and no one's saying anything about it.
Okay.
Wow.
So, Dr. Leon, what makes you, what keeps you involved with this? What is it that drives you?
First, the numbers are very alarming. To have such a high percentage of individuals that are missing within one specialized area in North Lauderdale, North Fort Lauderdale, and it not be broadcast over the news is very alarming. That's first and foremost. Secondly, what moves me and what keeps me going is definitely my faith. Um, I do this work because, again, this is my mission. This is a mission that, although through traumas, although through victimization, I had to stand firm on what God had already placed inside of me, which was to reach, to rescue, and to help reintegrate individuals who have been victimized, whatever the crimes have been. It has been my platform to be a voice for them, to be an advocate for them, to educate others on how to actually have a conversation to keep our youth safe. Um, and now, having my organization since 2016, I have been on that mission to make sure that I'm engaging with other entities within our communities, that I'm having the conversations with parents, with with laypersons, with churches and other entities, to be able to get them to understand that this is serious. This is happening right in our backyards. Florida does rank third with the highest human trafficking incidents. And we know that the numbers and the statistics that have been reported to Polaris, which is the federal agency that oversees the National Human Trafficking Hotline, we know that those statistics are very low because no one is reporting. Like we have 25, 24 youth that are missing. We have no idea where these individuals are. So we know that the data isn't as accurate because it's not being reported. And so it's our due diligence as citizens, as mothers, as community activists to be able to have that conversation, to sit at the round table, to be able to execute some type of solution because this is a global epidemic. It is happening here in our backyards, it's happening everywhere. And anyone can become a victim of human trafficking. So it is my sole purpose, my sole mission to make sure that I use my voice in order to educate and to speak on the behalf of those that are missing, to speak on the behalf of those that may not be here anymore, and to speak on the behalf of those that may become a victim of human trafficking.
Well, yeah, put some contact information on that.
Yeah. Dr. Leon, you talked about this Polaris. What exact can you explain exactly what Polaris is and how does someone even get reported in?
Okay, so the Polaris Project is a federal funded project which mans the National Human Trafficking Hotline. And that's where all of the reports are taken confidential. So the National Human Trafficking Hotline, the number is 1-888-373-7888. And if you know of anyone who may be a potential victim of human trafficking, if you suspect that someone is a victim of human trafficking, we always encourage an individual to call that National Human Trafficking Hotline in order to report what it is that he or she has seen. They always remain anonymous. The call is confidential. All we're asking for you to do is to give the last whereabouts, to give a description of the individual that you saw, to give her the description of who that individual was with, maybe a tag number, some other identifying indicators in order to put that information within the database because Polaris does have a cross database that works with the National Children for Missing and Exploited. And so they're able to cross-reference information from those children or youth that may be missing, and then as well as the information that may have come in through our National Human Trafficking Hotline. And so we always encourage individuals, if you see something that just doesn't look right, we're not asking you to go and investigate. We're just asking you to report because you never know. You may, be able to save a person's life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you put up the definition and for okay, let's see that. Okay. Now, for those of us who may not understand or have a different ideal to what defines human trafficking, this is what the national people say about it.
Mm-hmm.
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 Okay, and there's some information.
Yeah.
Text be free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with regard to the 24 young ladies in North Lauderdale, they are reported in Polaris or
Mm-hmm.
I can't confirm or deny.
Okay, I
Um,
understand that.
so yeah.
Yeah.
Sharon, you're muted, but Sharon, to your understanding, because I feel this is more of grassroots and that you've
Right.
been on the forefront and you've been, in some cases, direct contact with some of the reporting of the people that are missing. What can you share with us in that respect to, are they familiar with Polaris and reporting?
Well, as far as I know, I can't say all 24, but the ones that's close to me, I say about 18. No, we did not put them. They was not reported on Falera because we didn't know anything about that particular system until we met Dr. Haynes. How all we do know that the parents did call the police, and the first thing they did, it took about 2 to 3 weeks for anybody ever got a police officer to come out to the house, because the first thing they said was, "Are you sure they're not runaways?" Um, so all cell phone activity had been stopped, and so 'cause all the girls basically had cell phones, all cell phone activity had been stopped. But it did take like 2 to 3 weeks before they actually got an officer to come out to the house, because they just didn't. I guess they just didn't take it serious that they was missing per se. They just figured, oh, it's just a typical runaway. But in my opinion, even if it's a typical runaway, which is not typical to me, that's still someone's child. And if I report my child missing, whether she mad at me or she ran away or not, I just feel like they should have at least come out to the house and get the investigation started.
Ms. Hughes, do we have any footage or any video from the play that you're doing? Were you able to get that?
I have a little bit of this little snippet that we did and we gave to channel 6 of the rehearsal and media day that they did questions with the kids. That's all I have is that kind of video.
Okay. Okay. Well, now I do know we have a what is that the QR code? What is it?
QR
QR
code.
Yeah.
Code.
From your website, right, Ms. Leon?
Yes, that's our QR code. Anyone can scan our QR code and it'll take them directly to our website, where they can learn more about our organization, our senior leadership, our board members, and the different community activities that we're involved in.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about. I went into your website and I read some very interesting stuff that you guys have done. Aria, can you put that QR code up, please?
You're cute.
Yeah, that's it. That was cute. There we go. There we go. And while that's posted, Miss Leon, can you tell us? I saw where you guys were. Let's see if I remember correctly. You do more than. Oh Lord, you go out in the community. You do a lot of stuff. Tell us some more about it.
So primarily our primary goals are actually to assist individuals by being able to obtain permanent affordable housing as quickly as possible, to increase self-sufficiency and sustainability. And our vision, like I stated before, is to actually reach and rescue individuals who have experienced either displacement and or homelessness due to being a victim of human trafficking. And so some of the things that we've worked on and some of the services that we also provide are crisis response. So a lot of times if we get a phone call from any of the Florida regions, because we provide services throughout with the DCF, the Department of Children and Family. And if we get a call in order to house an individual that's coming from a different area, sometimes we have to do emergency housing for them. And so we have a confidential location that we do provide that services with. We also provide basic needs. So a lot of hygiene, a lot of toiletries, a lot of just hygiene and different items individuals may have need of, because a lot of them come just with the clothes on their backs. And so we do provide them with some of the basic needs. We do a lot of case management, and those include a lot of the therapies, the different modalities, the different wraparound services. Advocacy, again, is one of our cores, and we also support in the criminal activity. So being able to support them and working with the attorneys, the prosecutors, and having an advocate there for them is what we support them with as well. And so right now, all of our housing programs are temporarily. And so now we're expanding our service to do more permanent housing for these individuals as they transition. Because usually once they reach the age of 18, they're kind of out of the foster care system. And so we wanted to be able to bridge that gap and become a permanent affordable housing real estate development organization. And so we've added that to, our list of services that we offer right now.
So your clients, your people that you're working with, do they have to be citizens of the United States?
No, we work with unaccompanied minors. And they're classified as unaccompanied refugee minors. So a lot of our clients that we do service are from different countries. Yes.
Dr. Leon, obviously this takes resources, and I know we put up the QR code. If individuals wanted or organizations wanted to assist in funding this, is there a way that they can do that?
Yes. So if they scan the QR code, it takes them directly to our website, and we have a giving tab in which an individual can give securely on our platform. They can give via Zelle. We also have our Clover account, which is linked in, and it's, of course, they can use their credit cards, they can use their bank cards, but everything is confidential and it is secure. And then you can get a receipt to show that all of your donations and your contributions are tax deductible.
And Sharon, that the work that you're doing, how can folk get involved with that?
Well, easily. I welcome anybody to help out. Unfortunately, Miss Dr. Haynes was one of our sponsors for this year play, because unfortunately a lot of people don't see no value in our little babies when it comes to something like this. But I use the arts to help them find a voice, and that's donate. But if you donate, I don't ask you for donation like that. If you wanted to pay for something, I tell you to pay for it outright. You don't have to give it to me. You don't have to give it to the organization. You could just pay for it. And then I tell you what I need. You pay for it, and you got your receipt, and I write off on it. Or you can donate. But if you do donate, you have to make sure you donate, and they have to say family services or for Team Broadway or for whatever programs that I'm doing.
Do we have the dates of that play again? Do we have that to post?
Sure. It's February 18th and 19th. It starts at 2:00. And it's a little different than everybody else played. Dr. Haynes, and I have resources for somebody for anybody who might need it. I have Dr. Haynes is going to be there. BSO is going to be on hand as well to take some questions. Also, we have Elite Foundation and also Smith. So we will have resources on hand. So we're not just talking about it. We're actually going to provide resources for someone. And if they don't want to say nothing that day, we will have where they can call back anonymously or email anonymously later with any kind of questions or comments or concerns.
Okay, and where is this? I'm sorry.
No, I think we have the flyer, but again, those dates are February 18th and 19th, 2 p.m. And is that the Black Box Theater at the YMCA?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I think we'll try to get that flyer up here before the end of the show. But Miss Hughes, now I know you've been downplaying yourself, but you're actually the director of Family Services Program, correct?
Yes, I am. I actually am the Family Services Director. Yes.
Okay, so let's hear a little more about that and what it engages. I know you like me, you from the hood. We right here born on Sistrunk, but we want to be able to at least hear more about what you do as a profession and how that is assisting with folks on the court.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I'm a Family Services Program Director. So basically anything that has to do with families and kids, that's me. So I have to either find a program or create a program to help that family heal in whatever aspects is possible. I have to either go out and get a grant or sell a kidney or whatever the case may be to make sure I be able to provide what their families need. So I use creative ways to make sure that I engage the kids and the families and the community. So Team Broadway is one of them. I also have a TNT program, teach about financial literacy. But it's not just about financial literacy. We take 10 boys from the hood and we actually teach them how to buy and sell stock and to be financially sustainable for the future, to break that generation of financially cursed. So that's another program. Also oversee the KEC program, which is our after school program, but it's not after school. It's called Kid Enrichment. Because with my program, I also provide free tutoring. A lot of our kids in this neighborhood have a hard time with reading. So I provide free tutoring. No, it's not the same as homework help. Homework help is separate. Tutoring, they get it 5 days a week. Also, they get swim time in the pool. Also, they get karate. Also, they get dance. Each day it's an enrichment. Each day it's an enrichment. Again, that's another program that's grant funded. I have to go out and pretty much beg for it in order to have it. And it have to be in the community in order to do it. I try to target sibling sets, because you do know in the neighborhood we do have kids that have like 2 and 3 and 4 in a household. So my KEC program, I try to target sibling sets so they have somewhere safe to go for after school. It's not called after school, if I call it KEC, Kid Enrichment. Unfortunately, a lot of parents don't even take the time just to come to sign up. That's all you have to do, just register, and it's free. I'm over that program. I also have to go out and try to make sure we have somewhere safe for them to go for the summer. So I do pride myself in going out again, trying to get grants and donations to have a summer camp program. That's very important. A lot of our kids, that's when the crime rate go up, because our kids ain't got nowhere to go, because they have nowhere safe to go. They can't afford it. So I pride myself again on trying to make sure we tackle the household. Also, I'm partnered with LifeNet, and all my kids every 2 weeks get a weekend worth of food so they can have something they can eat over the weekends, twice a month. I do know, yes, a lot of people do get some assistance, but we all know food and everything don't went up, and all the time the kids don't have the food stuff. If they get food stuff, it don't last the whole month. If you got 3 and 4 kids, they are hungry. So I pride myself on that. They get a bag of groceries every 2 weeks. They own personal bags. They don't have to share with their siblings. So if it's 6 of them, all 6 of them get their own bag for the weekend. So those are type of the things I have to do while I'm here in this program, and I do community conversations. This is another program where I created for our kids to have that voice, to try to get them into the civil justice arena. Mr. Bobby actually was one of our interviewees we just did. Our kids feel like nobody sees them or hear them. So I created community conversation, and it helps them with public speaking, and it helps them finding a voice, and it helps them with self-esteem, and it helps them to understand what they need to do as they get older, and what realm or how government plays in their life. You guys were talking earlier about when it comes to the AP classes of African American history, but yeah, a lot of times you don't get a lot of push for that, because a lot of our kids don't know they don't know they have a voice to say, hey, hold up, I have a stop. I have a question. So community conversation helps them with that. That's another program that I had to go out and try to get funding to do. And Mr. Bob was just our recent interviewee this past Tuesday on that one.
I got to agree with one of our listeners here. Mickey Watkins says Mrs. Sharon Hughes is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm so just in awe with everything you just shared about what it is you do. I felt like I almost had to pull it out of you. But this is truly amazing. And we will definitely have to, I personally will be in touch with you, because there's some areas I think I can lend some support in. But
Sharon know me. I must admit, and I'm man enough to say that if the facility is doing what they're supposed to do, if these activities, as you say, are free for the community to come in this area, to this, and I'm just going to say it, to the YMCA. I have not always been a proponent of the Y. However, when I had the opportunity to sit with those kids and allow them to interview me and engage in conversation. I must say, Sharon Hughes, you're doing a great job. I'm not going. I'm not going to give it all to the YMCA. You know, people give to people. It's the people that makes the organization what it is. And so, therefore, you are doing your part, and I must commend you on that. And as David said, uh, open the doors up. Nobody hasn't heard a whole lot about this program because your messaging might be in the wrong place. You got to bring it home. You got to bring it home. All right. So
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you. You know, I know how you feel. Yes, I do. You are very boisterous. But you know, like the kids, like the boys that you seen graduate the first cohort of TNT. So I know you was there and you was like, wow, I didn't know. This is what I try to do. Yes, my programming, that I try to do everything I can is very don't cost nobody anything. I have to work really, really hard to get the funding to make sure that our kids in the community do have the same opportunities as everyone else because unfortunately it's the first thing people say is the money. So I do work really, really hard to make sure that they don't have to worry about anything. They just need to care. And I just make sure that they come in my presence. This is a safe haven. When they come here, it's no judgment. They're allowed to speak freely as long as they're respectful. That's the only thing I don't do is tolerate disrespect. Other than that, it's no judgment. They can tell me how they feel. And sometimes I even advocate and have to talk to mom or dad or grandma or uncle, say, hey, listen, you know, Deborah's not feeling well. When you said XYZ and it really hurt her feelings and make her feel bad and make her self-esteem. So I even have to go that way as well sometimes. But I do my best. And I thank you so much for saying those kind words.
well, absolutely the truth. I'll tell the truth now. I'll speak truth to power, and I'll tell the truth. Shame the devil. Okay. I see we're getting. Yeah.
I think Perry has something
Okay,
there.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm just in awe of what uh, Miss Hughes and Dr. Leon are doing, and I just commend you. I'm with David. I echo David and Bobby. Um, that what you're doing, I know in the nonprofit world, it centers so much around fundraising and around having the support there. But as Bobby said, we have to expand, and sometimes what we think requires money may just be a good resource and some good favor that we need. So let's not always uh, focus on this is the way that it should be. That and again, I know the fundraising is important. I'm not saying that, but there are resources who can help you if they only knew what you need. And we need to help. And again, sometimes we don't know what we need. Ms. Hughes, I know you're front line. You're dealing with situations that come in your door.
Yeah.
So I'm not putting that on you, but we do have to help and we do need to work smarter. Our kids need us working smarter because we're working our butts off. There's no doubt about it. You all are working your butts off, and it shows. And so, again, I just think that this needs some other discussions to find out just what can we do to help you get your work done.
Okay. As you know, I hate to be the bearer of the time watch. But this one is coming to an end.
Mhm. Well, we're getting there too, and we're kind of right on time actually, because at some point we're going to let you guys kind of share your thoughts in closing. But Dr. Leon, you when we just spoke about the fundraising piece, uh, is there anything you want to add to that? It's your experience and some wiser ways or better ways to going about that. Is there anything you want to share?
Yeah, so fundraising and just contributions and donations are definitely the foundation of being able to provide the plethora of services that myself and Miss Sharon provide to our youth. But again, also being able to collaborate with other individuals and to tap into other resources is another way as well. With our organizations, we do fundraising. We do, applying for a lot of grants. We're also associated with our Rotarians. I am a Rotarian for the city of Hollandale and Aventura. I'm a part of that Rotary Club, so I definitely have the support from Rotary and other entities that I'm affiliated with. They provide their support as well. But I think just being able to work collaboratively will be able to definitely garner those additional resources that are needed in order for these programs to continue to be pushed forward and to be able to support our youth. And so, I've sat with Miss Sharon and, creatively, we're thinking of other ways and other means and other resources in order for her programs to continue to thrive. And so, like I said, just having a collaborative approach and being able to tap into additional resources is definitely an addition to it.
Great. So I guess, Doctor, now that you're here, I guess in closing, if you could just kind of give us your thoughts on this topic. We're closing out tonight this series on human trafficking.
So,
We know it's real. That's the title of the show, Human Trafficking. It's real. What would be the takeaway for you for this month, for this show? What you foresee in the future, whether it be through technology like this Polaris system, or where do you see this going? Just kind of summarize that for us in about a minute or two.
awesome. So again, with January being National Human Trafficking Awareness Month, that does not mean that the conversation ends after January ends. The conversation has to continue as laypersons, as advocates, as educators, as community leaders. We have to continue to have those conversations. We have to continue to ask those questions and remind our youth and our children to be open and to just have a conversation with us about things that they may have heard, things that they may have seen. We know right now that peer recruitment is definitely high amongst individuals who have been trafficked and those that are being trafficked. A lot of our traffickers are having meetings just as we're having meetings, and they're coming up with more savvy ways in order to lure our vulnerable individuals. And so the more we have those conversations, the more that we remain vigilant, the more that we encourage our youth that we are their sounding board. Come to us, talk to us, process anything that's going on with you or your friends. Just getting them to trust us and to know that we're here to help them because a lot of individuals are being recruited by their peers. And so if you see something that just doesn't look right, if you know of someone who's a youth and they're, wearing expensive, brands or they're getting their hair and their nails done and you know that their parents really can't afford it on a continuous basis every week or every 2 weeks. Those are some of the things that we just need to question, as individuals when we see those red flags and having the conversations and then being able to, participate in the training. Our organization, we go out and we train different entities. We go out and train different individuals who would like to learn more about human trafficking. Again, it does not just stop in January. It's a conversation to continue as the days and the weeks and the months continue as well, because human trafficking is real. Our youth are definitely being targeted. And so anyone can become a victim of human trafficking, but we shouldn't have victims. We shouldn't even have human trafficking because human beings are not to be sold. We're not commodities. And so being able to empower our youth to use their voice when they see something, that they do say something, and that their parents are able to help them to report things that they told them. And so as we end this program, I hope that we do not end the conversation, that the conversation continues, and that we utilize the resources and we utilize the organizations that are out here on the front line that are having the conversations. And we ask that you continue to have the conversations and be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. And Ms. Sharon Hughes, if you can just kind of summarize this program, uh, about a minute or two.
Sure. First of all, I want to say thank you, gentlemen, and Dr. Haynes. It has been truly an honor to be a part of this platform, to just to get the word out. I'm with Dr. Haynes. Let's not stop the conversation there. Yes, I use the arts to make sure that we bring awareness and education to the adults and around the community, and also share indicators and red flags. And I'm hoping that we do use these resources so we can have happy endings to some of these cases. Um, Human trafficking is very real, and it's not just sex trafficking. You have to understand that as well, especially when South Florida is such a solid bowl of a state. You have people coming from all types of countries, and they have kids that really don't belong to them sometimes, and they use them as like humans, domestic slaves. So you have to understand that is going on as well. Right now, as we speak, I know of one child that comes in here daily who have not been to school since he been in this country. No one's not asking a question or anything. He don't have the papers or anything, and no one's not saying anything. And it's sad to know that this is still happening. This is 2023. So you have to understand that, like Dr. Haynes said, we cannot stop the conversation. Something just don't look right, seem right, or smell right. Let's just ask a question. It's not. I know when we was coming up, we had villagers. They say it always takes a village. Now the villagers are closing their windows and locking their doors and closing their eyes. Let's open the windows back up. Let's open the shades. Let's have a conversation. Just ask a question because this is real. Just remember this. When I want everybody who's listening to understand that girl that you see on the other side of that picture, that could be your daughter, your niece. And if you have any grandkids, that can be them. If you don't want to educate yourself, educate your household. So we will hopefully put a dent in what's going on in our society today.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Perry?
Wow. Uh, Ms. Hughes, Dr. Leon, thank you for closing out this month in such a powerful way. And as you say, there's I want to believe, and I'm hopeful that this conversation does continue, that it does not uh, continue the way that it was prior. Uh, our hope and our prayers that these shows have made a difference, and that will reflect in the work that you're doing. And so, again, I thank you, and you will be hearing from us. And again, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we're gonna go ahead and let our brother close us out.
You don't want to do your?
You know, this is really kind of touching to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but I thank you all for sharing, and we're gonna let Mr. Henry close us out.
Okay, I appreciate it. Before I do that, I'm gonna allow Miss Connie McKnight. I'm gonna give you a shameless plug. Can you put it up, please, where it says if folks want to help, put that on the screen so people can see that. And thank you, Miss McKnight. If folks want to help, they can email Sharon or go to the Y with the intention of purchasing something that directly supports the program, supplies, costumes, etc. So that's that. And I also want to say this: we are certainly uh, glad and indebted to all the work that you're doing, both of you. And I want, before I list this, on February the 23rd, we have secured the place at Old Dillard Museum to show the film that the producers, Nisi Johnson and Mr. Mika Clark, a film that they're involved in along with Dr. Anderson. And we ask that you, Dr. Hayes, I'm sorry, Miss Leon, Dr. Leon, and you, Miss Hughes, to come and join us, and let's put this program together and make it a success. And also, Sharon, Gino would be proud of you. You know, you're doing an outstanding job. Your mother would be proud. So thank you.
Thank you,
Now,
guys.
mhm, from the first month the first show we did back in December the 22nd. It was titled "Human Trafficking is Not a Gift, Any Time of the Year." And as I call these names, if their face would appear, we had Roger Dehart. Roger literally walked the country as an activist and talking about the human trafficking and the tragedy of it. And then we had on the same show Dr. Sandra Marie Anderson. This is a fireball here. Dr. Anderson has been a victim herself of human trafficking and has overcome that to become a doctor and to help others. And then we move on to the second week when we did it. It was human trafficking. It can happen to you, and that was with Miss Tania Clark. There we go, and Miss Anthonyse Johnson. Again, Dr. Anderson was a part of that show as well. The next show was how can we help and what can we do about it? And our guests included, there she is, Miss Lynette Shaw, and an award-winning author, Pamela Samuels Young. You got to read her books. She has put feelings to the pages of her book as it relates to human trafficking and other things. And Lynette Shaw is a counselor who herself had a tremendous, horrible experience and being raped at a very young age. And she shared that with us. And now tonight, we have our own right here in the hood, Miss Sharon Hughes, who her family I know personally from next door neighbors and from her mother coming into the office asking us to do things to get involved. So I know her. And then we have Dr. Shantell Haynes-Cruz Leon. I think it's Horizon, her 501c3, her organization. Truly doing some outlandish things. So we got to support them. Now I want to leave everybody with this. Sometimes, God, we think we prepare ourselves for certain things and we don't. God steps right in and gives us everything we need. And so tonight, when I was looking for a way to end this segment on human trafficking and the travesty that it is doing and has done to our community, I came across a poem that has nothing to do with human trafficking, but it has to do with the human resolve, how we are able to bounce back. It's a poem that was written by Miss Lisa Marks, and the poem is titled, Just Wait for the Sun. And it says, when everything's darkness and you feel so alone, when the rain doesn't stop and you can't make it home, when it feels all is lost and you just want to run, it can't rain forever. Just wait for the sun. When family is pain, when friends can't be found, when you just want to scream, but you can't find the sound, when it's all your fault and you feel like you're done, just wait for the sun. The sunshine will come. The storm always passes. It won't last forever. The rain always stops and gives way to good weather. The brightest and the warmest days still to come. Please wait for the sun. The sunshine will come. People who need you, people who still love you, can warm your soul like the sunshine above you. You're never alone, no matter what's done. Wait for the sun. Just wait for the sun. Dark clouds always pass. I promise you, hon, we're all waiting with you. Just wait for the sun. So, in closing, no matter what we're confronted with, what we're bothered by, whatever goes on, just wait for the sun. Now, that sun may be the S-U-N, but I'm referring to the S-O-N. So let us all look to the hills from which cometh our help and wait for the sun. God bless you all. Thank you so very much. And mark your calendars for February the 23rd. It's a Thursday. Thursday evening. It's a Thursday evening over at the Old Dillard Museum. More information is to come. God bless you all. I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.